minutes until midnight, 10 minutes until the 29th of December, where me and some booktube pals and IRL pals are having a little readathon before the new year is here. It is too late for you to participate in this particular one, but I'm sure we'll have more if these are successful. Without further ado, here is my Readathon 2017 booktube pals TBR. We haven't really named it, so pardon me. I am going to be reading The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed first. This has, I think, about 300 pages, 308 pages. No, I lied. This has about 400 pages, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through that. I don't know, in a day. That's a lot. It's fine. I believe that this is about sexual assault, but I'm gonna see. I've been trying to keep a blind eye with all these books that I'm gonna be reading to, like, not build any expectation. I believe that this is about depression, I think. Depression, mental health, missing girls, relationships. I'm just into it. And then if I finish those two books miraculously, I have got an Inspector Calls and Other Plays by J.B. Priestley. I won't be reading all of it. I will just be reading Inspector Calls because I don't really care for any of the plays. I just care for Inspector Calls because it's one of my favourite books of all time. These are all the books that I'm going to be trying to read in this readathon. It is only 3 and the rest of the guys have 4 or more. But I'm not a very confident, fast reader at this moment in time. I will be proud of myself if I get through half of a book, let alone all 3 of these. It is currently about 5 to 12 and I am absolutely terrified. My hair up and my makeup off and stuff. I'm ready. How long we got, guys?
Mine's midnight.
Mine isn't yet.
Oh no, it is.
Ah, it's midnight! It's midnight! It's midnight!
Good evening, everyone. And the highlights of the news this Thursday. Traffic accidents. A Beaver County man is being held for murder. And more later.
Again, and my cup is kind of cold and empty and I need more tea. The first sprint has just finished for the UK and Australia, and then the third sprint is at 7 AM our time. I got to page 152 of The Nowhere Girls in our little 1 hour sprint. It was literally all day, or since Waverley got here. We've been non-stop talking and laughing, and you know, and as soon as midnight hit, it was silent. I got to page 152 of this and I'm really, really enjoying it. I've teared up like a few times, but only once, like really majorly. And I think I'm definitely going to cry at this. If I think it's going to happen, it's going to happen. What page did you get up to?
Page 16, the actual book, but I read the acknowledgements as well, which was about 16 pages. So I'm about 80
did
pages
well.
in.
Well done.
There's a lot of big words, but it's great.
I'm going to go and get myself another cup of tea, a big cup of tea, and read to page 200. I want to get halfway. I'm going to find out where the halfway point is and get to that point. That is my update right now. I'm really enjoying The Nowhere Girls. Amy Reed has a really kind of simple writing style, but it's hella effective because of the words that she uses and the way that she builds her characters. I'm just in love with all of the characters. Every single one of them is just hit, 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 and I don't think I've read a book like that for a very long time, maybe even since Looking for Alaska. I really recommend any woman, and if you're a man that wants to read this, but I really do recommend any woman that picks this up because it needs to be said and it needs to be read. 20 to 3 in the morning, and I'm kind of speaking a little bit quietly because my mum's probably in bed. I got to halfway through The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. I'm very proud of myself because in the first sprint I read over 150 pages and I'm so happy with myself. Loving the story, it's great. It's a wonderful, wonderful book and I love it so much. We have decided to come upstairs and potentially get some sleep. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go to sleep straight away or carry on reading while I'm in bed, but I will let you know. I'm actually hoping to finish this either in the 7 AM sprint or just after that. It is currently 10 to 8 in the morning. We are a man down, as you can see. I'm on my own because Callum is still in bed, which is fine because it's like 8 AM. I don't know, I'll wake him up at the next sprint and see what he says. since the last sprint that we did, but I got to page 351 of the Nowhere Girls, and I have about, I want to say 50 pages left, 3 pages left. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and read that in a minute. But I've just been watching some YouTube and having a break from it because I can't just sit here and continuously read. I just don't know. It doesn't happen for me. I got some breakfast because I was hella hungry, and I also got some tea. This mug seems to be my mug of choice this readathon. I just don't know why. It's big and it's like the perfect size. I am really enjoying the Nowhere Girls. I can't believe I left it this long to read it. I'm not sure when it came out, but I heard about it ages ago, and I can't believe I left it this long to discover it. I'm so glad that I eventually did read it because it's a very important story that needs to be told and everyone should hear it, both men and women and in between alike. I'm going to go ahead and finish this now. I might start editing my vlog because I feel like I've got a lot of footage and I need to edit it, but I don't, and it's really weird. But that might be something to like break the books in between. I might finish this and have a break with editing and then start my other book. It is called Another Place by Matthew Crowe. I don't know if I'm going to like this because I've never heard of it before, and it's about depression and a girl who goes missing. So we'll see how that goes and how they represent, you know, depression and all that jazz. Tia's asleep, Callum's asleep, we're 2 men down, but they should be awake by the time the next sprint happens. Waverley is still awake. How many books have you finished?
I finished Before I Die and Coraline.
So it's about half an hour later and it is 10 AM. I just finished The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed and I had a lot of tears in my eyes. The last few sections were very powerful, like the whole book was. I gave it 5 stars and it's also my favourites bookshelf. I loved this book. It was amazing, and I'm about to type up a review on my laptop. Good read, so I'll link everything that I say in the description box below. Like if I read anything else that I want to review, then I will pop that in the description box below. Like I said earlier, if you're a woman and you either want to know more about rape culture, or if you want to find some empowerment, if you feel like you're weak, then you need to read this book because it's amazing. Ended at 1, which was about 50 minutes ago. I've had some lunch now. I'm about to go make myself a cup of tea again because I think I'm ready for some more caffeine. I wanted to just update you on what I read in the little sprint. There's only one more sprint that the UK is involved in, which is where I live, if you couldn't tell. But that is the 7 PM one, and it seems like a really long time away. So I might just do little sprints on my own or with these people. I don't know. 7 PM's a long time. So I got to halfway of Another Place by Matthew Crowe and it's alright, I guess. I get through it and then I don't know what else I'm going to read. What did you do?
Finish.
Finish what?
Previous time.
Yay! Now what are you going to read?
Turtles all the way down.
Go, go, go. 1 o'clock, I think. Before Callum left, I finished this, Another Place by Matthew Crowe. I gave it 2 stars out of 5 on Goodreads because I didn't like it. The next and final book I'm going to be attempting to read in the last sprint, which is in 10 minutes, is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I'm so excited. It's a beautiful hardcover edition as well. I will be waiting because it's in paperback to buy it, but Callum let me borrow his edition just for the readathon and hopefully getting it back tomorrow on New Year's Eve. About 10 minutes until the last sprint for the UK starts because the next sprint is in American times and the readathon will be over by the time that time comes on in the UK, so we can't join in with that sprint. So it's the last sprint we can join in on. It's currently about 10 to 7. It starts in 10 minutes, but then we have about 5 hours, finish whatever we're reading or to pick up something else or whatever. So I've decided to go with Tales All the Way Down, and it will be my third and final book. After I've read Tales All the Way Down, I will be 100% caught up and everything, and I am so happy for that, like, to stand and me to finally be able to say that. I got to halfway of Tales All the Way Down by John Green. This book is really good. No spoilers, because a lot of people haven't read it, and none of you have read it in this room. But it's really good. I don't think it's his best, but I think it's better than The Fault in Our Stars, so it's somewhere in between. It's given me the idea to do a review on my channel and to rate my top John Green books, like put them in order, because I've technically read all of them now because I'm in the middle of Tales All the Way Down. This is the last installment, like, he hasn't published anything else up until this point. I've read everything that he's written. I've been making notes, and that's probably why it's taken me a little bit longer to read this, because I've been making notes as I go. I'm going to read some more of this at about 9. Probably just going to have a little bit of break now and chill before I read any more, but I will let you know when I finish this, when I go into bed. It is the very next day. It is the 30th of December, and I thought I'd give you a little wrap up from when I wasn't exhausted, because I've been up for like 20 hours or something stupid reading. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little wrap up from this year's kind of last minute of the year readathon. We haven't really named it, but I'm sure we'll have to come up with something, because we're going to be doing more in the future, so that's good. There are 3 books in 20 hours, which is really good for me, considering I don't sometimes read a book in a week. So 3 books I am so happy with. I have read a total of, I think it was 986 pages, because me and Waverley read the same amount of pages as each other. First book that I read, I picked up at the 12 AM sprint and then finished at 10 o'clock the next morning, because I had 4 hours sleep last night, was The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. I absolutely loved this book. I like the way it dealt with rape culture and feminism, and I really, really, really want there to be more books out there like this. I want to read more of them, so if you have any recommendations, please, please tell me. One of my favourite books. It was 5 stars, 5 out of 5 on Goodreads I gave it. And I just love her writing style and the concept of the Nowhere Girls. It was amazing and I loved it. The second book that I read was Another Place by Matthew Crowe, and this one was kind of a miss for me. It was very pear-shaped and I felt like it wasn't very thought out, so I gave it a 2 stars on Goodreads because of all these reasons. It wasn't a very good representation of young people, especially young female women, because I felt the character was sometimes really reckless for someone with depression, and I know that me having depression before and depersonalization and knowing people that have depression my age, I wouldn't be that reckless. And, you know, she embraces change, and most people with depression want to stay in their bubble and they're, you know, so obsessed with the past. The reason why I didn't like this book is because the dialogue was really off. I think this kind of goes with the representation of young people in it. Like, in one of the scenes, 2 of the characters are fighting and literally they say to each other, "I will fight you," and they're talking about kingdoms, and it just wasn't for me. The storyline was just, it was all over the place, but I did finish it and I did manage to conquer it, even though I was really close to DNFing. Dialogue was really off. The narrative was just pear-shaped and unplanned and unthought out. It was a good idea, but I don't think Matthew Crowe did it justice. I'm really sorry if you like this book. That got a 2 stars on Goodreads. The third and final book that I read was one of my boyfriends, which I have to give back tomorrow, and I'm kind of like holding on for dear life, is Tales All the Way Down by John Green. This one got a 3 stars, 3.5 stars in between there. It was somewhere in between Matthew Crowe's The Place and Amy Reed's The Nowhere Girls, because I kind of liked it. Some places I liked it more than others, but there's only a few things wrong with it. Looking for Alaska will always be my favourite book of John Green's. No one can top that. No writer, not even John Green, can write something else as good as Looking for Alaska in my eyes. It was my holy bible. It still is my holy bible. I have a fucking tattoo of one of the quotes that he uses in it. I know that fact, and I reissue that fact in my head as soon as I walk into a John Green book. Especially after reading this one. This one had a really good representation for mental health and blah blah blah, and like young people. He also describes food really well in all of his novels. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but he really describes food really well. It's really postmodern, and I really enjoyed that fact, and I don't know whether to bump it up from a 3.5 stars to a 4, but then I'm thinking, like, did I enjoy it as much as Harry Potter? No, I didn't, and that's a 4 stars for me. These are the books that I read in our 24-hour readathon at the end of December 2017. My favourite book by far was The Nowhere Girls, and my least favourite by far was Another Place by Matthew Crowe. tomorrow. I just kind of want to say something at the end of this vlog because I don't feel like it's right for me to be all happy as Larry and post this, because there was a huge argument in our booktuber chat last night. I lost my shit with all of them, and so did Waverley, because we had been organising this booktubathon since before Christmas. I'm not sure exact date, but it was definitely before Christmas, because someone said that we should do it over Christmas and we said no. Nobody took part and no one said that they did. So they might have read on the day, they might have taken part in their own time, but there was no communication, there was no Facebook chat, there was no egging each other on, there was no encouragement, literally nothing. And I can't help but think, what if we hadn't have like asked Lisa and Tia and Callum to join in with us? Me and Wayley would have been sat there on our own reading, and that wouldn't have been a bad thing, don't get me wrong. It was the whole principle of everyone joining in and everyone reading. Wayley put a lot of work into time zones and making sure the sprints were all lined up and making sure everyone was happy before we confirmed it. We asked them time and time again if they were free, and if they weren't, they could have just said something, we'd have moved it. And I went off my face because I wasn't happy, and I'm still not happy that we organised something for them. They announced it on their channels, everything was hunky-dory until it came down to actually doing it, and then as soon as the readathon ended, everyone was active and reading. I don't get that. I honestly don't have any clue. And if you're watching this and you feel bad because you know that it was directed at you, you should be, because I am not a happy bunny with anybody in that group chat, and I don't appreciate being kicked out of it because I wasn't finished. But yeah, without that, it was really good readathon, and I definitely would do it again, just not with those people, because they didn't take part and it took us ages. It took Waverley ages. Waverley had 50 minutes sleep. I had 4 hours. Like, I can't sleep for less than 8 hours on a normal day without getting cranky. But no, my face was in a book most of the time. And not even to mention that, not even if they'd have taken part in their own time and not just chatted, that would have been fine. Come and update me when you're finished. Whatever. The sprint was supposed to be there so we could communicate during it or after it to say what we were reading. One of them lied to us to make us feel better and said that they read 5 books in a day before 9 PM. They apparently said that they read Warcross, which is about nearing 400 pages in 50 minutes. The math, and it is a page every 8.5 seconds. My sister is the fastest reader I know. She is the Flash in reading. She couldn't read that. And I know that for a fact. That's bullshit. I am nice until you piss me off, and then I'm fucking horrible, and then you wonder why. Oh, you were horrible first. I know that they all thought I was really mean and disgusting, and I probably was. I'm not gonna lie, I did take it a little bit too far. But when you push and push and push and push and push somebody and ignore them in the group, and then when they do try and do something good for the group to be noticed and to be liked in the group, and then you just don't do it, they're gonna be fucking mad, aren't they? Especially when their friend is up for 50 minutes and their eyes are drooping, but they're still reading because they think that everyone else is. Sorry to end that on a kind of negative note, but I didn't think it was right for me to post this or like, it went great, everyone's friends. Because we're not. It was a fucking shit show at the end. And that is partly my fault, but I don't care because I was really mad and it really pissed me off that night. Thank you so much for watching my readathon vlog. I'm really sorry that that rant kind of came in the end. I'm still really mad about it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow for another video. Bye!
Watch them fly and fly and see them soar up into the unknown. But I feel just like a nerd watching birds, watching me here.